Fox 23 News right now.
One man is in the hospital tonight after a shooting in North Tulsa. We'll have the latest on the investigation.
He knocked my brother down and he knocked me down, but we caught him.
Strangers see a little boy about to fall to his death and rush into action.
I told him, I said, don't you dare touch it. You swing that thing at her again, I'll bust your head.
Looks like two men picked the wrong store to rob for two reasons.
Breaking news, breaking weather, solving problems. This is Fox 23 News at 9.
Tonight, police are investigating a shooting that sent a neighborhood into chaos. It also brought officers from all over the city into the area. In this breaking news update, Fox 23's Emily Sinovic joins us to explain why. Emily?
Well, Carrie, the shooting happened near Pine in Maine. One man was shot in the back and taken to the hospital. Officers say there were so many shots fired in a relatively quiet neighborhood that neighbors panicked, causing police from across the city to rush to the scene. In the middle of the afternoon, police crisscrossed the neighborhood with tape and counted the bullet casings that left neighbors panicked just minutes before.
Just bang, bang, bang.
Neighbors weren't sure how many people were hurt, but they did see dozens of cops in a hurry.
They just ran through our yard.
When police got to the scene, they found a man in his early 20s lying on the ground. The four witnesses surrounding him tried to run before police caught up with them.
Apparently there was numerous shots that were fired, and we're trying to piece everything together.
Police don't know who shot or how many shots were fired, but neighbors say it was enough to make them worry about their own safety and the safety of their neighborhood tonight.
I'm just, I'm shaken up by all this. It blew my mind.
Police did take 4 men into questioning. They say witnessed or were involved in the shooting. Carrie.
Thank you, Emily. A Solving Problems crime mapper of 5 square miles around the area of today's shooting shows in 2005 there were 18 burglaries, 10 assaults, and no homicides. If you have any information about this shooting, please call Crime Stoppers at 596-COPS. You never have to give your name. Tulsa police released security camera video of a robbery at a Tulsa restaurant. This is video from Tuesday's robbery of the Taqueria La Cabana restaurant near 61st and South Memorial. One of the robbers has a gun, and he forces the employee to get on the floor as he and another robber clean out the cash register. If you recognize any of the robbers, call Crime Stoppers at 596-COPS. The Spanish line is 596-7000. Chicago police have arrested a man wanted in a Tulsa bank robbery. This is surveillance video from the robbery. Police say the man arrested in Chicago is one of 2 men who robbed the Bank of Oklahoma near Pine and Lewis on December 29th. Police say the suspect has family in the Chicago area and was driving a car stolen from Tulsa. Prosecutors have filed felony charges against this man in connection with a high school drug ring. Timothy Bray faces 1 count of trafficking in illegal drugs and 1 count of unlawful possession of a controlled drug. Police say he sold ecstasy to students in the Jinx, Union, and Broken Arrow districts. Detectives say they broke the case after 2 students overdosed on the drug. Police in Haskell are investigating their first homicide of the year. This is an update to breaking news we brought you during Fox 23 Daybreak. Police tell us around 8 o'clock last night, neighbors noticed the man inside his house covered in blood. The neighbors called the man's family and police. Officers discovered the man had been shot. They say they don't have any suspects at this time. And the Broken Arrow Police Department is in the market for some motorcycles. The department is testing BMW bikes for the next few days. Today, officers checked out the motorcycles on a closed course, jumping curbs and even going off the road.
Our goal in that effort is just to make sure that we give our officers the best tools to do their job. We want to make sure it's something that will perform well and will keep them safe.
Officers will actually use the BMWs on the street this weekend. The department currently has 3 Harleys with plans to buy another bike as soon as possible. The city has set aside money to buy 2 more next fall.
With 5 live radars keeping you safe, this is your Fox First Forecast.
Hello and good evening to everyone. We have a cold front sweeping across eastern Oklahoma. Not much of a cold front for this time of year, but a few areas of very light rain, maybe some sprinkles and some drizzle, continues to push southeastward across parts of northeastern Oklahoma as this weak frontal system is pushing on through. Now, today, a lot of clouds around, but still way above average. Our average high, 46. We got all the way to 54, even though it was cloudy just about all day. We started very mild in the mid to upper 40s. You can see the record, 73, set back in 1984. That's a record high. Look at the record low, 7 degrees below zero on this date back in 1947. Overnight tonight, for much of the area, mostly cloudy, a slight chance of light rain or drizzle. Northwesterly winds picking up behind this front. It'll be cooler tonight, but not really cold. Lows around 40 degrees. What about your weekend? Weekend predictor, that's coming up.
Thank you, John. At least 2 people are dead and 15 others hurt after tornadoes hit south central Louisiana. The twisters touched down just before 4 yesterday afternoon. They tore off roofs and ripped several mobile homes from their foundations.
I was so scared that something happened to the children and wanted to make sure they were okay because I couldn't get through. And I knew my friend was here with them, but I didn't know if she was all right, if they were all right.
The coroner identifies the dead victims as a woman and her 6-year-old daughter who died in their home. Some of the survivors say they had no warning a storm was coming. There must be something in the water. For the second time this week, a random act of heroism has taken place in New York City. This time, 2 men caught a 3-year-old boy who fell from a 4th-floor fire escape. Charles Leaf has their story.
The first thing I felt was scared.
Scared as he watches a 3-year-old boy dangle from a 4th-floor fire escape. He and his friend race over to catch him as the toddler loses his grip.
At that moment, I just was praying. I was just, in my mind, I was praying, dear God, please don't let him hit the floor.
The baby started coming down. So I put my hands out, got ready. My brother did the same thing. The baby hit the branch, hit my brother, and bounced off my brother and fell into my lap. So he knocked my brother down and he knocked me down, but we caught him. We didn't let him hit the floor.
A miracle. The boy only scared and scratched. The 2 men who saved him.
A hero. A hero. A hero for a baby because I would want somebody to do that for mine. I have 3. A hero.
Thank God that they were there and they caught their kid. That's just a miracle of 2007. That's all I can say.
The toddler's mother still in shock, but overjoyed. How are you feeling?
I'm grateful.
How's your little boy?
He's great. He's fine.
Earlier this week, a New York construction worker became a hero when he jumped into subway tracks to save a teenager from an oncoming train. He and his family have been showered with gifts and money for an act he says was his duty as a human. A big honor for a teacher at East Central High School. The Veterans of Foreign Wars has selected John Nine as their Oklahoma Teacher of the Year. He's taught junior ROTC at East Central for 10 years and says the entire program in Tulsa schools deserves to be honored.
We take those kids who want to be something, and they're not sure yet, but they want to go to college, and they want to better themselves, and they select junior ROTC. And what we do is we provide them a vehicle to attain those dreams.
John spent 25 years in the Army, attaining the rank of First Sergeant. While in the Army, his job was to inspect junior ROTC programs around the world, so he knows what he's talking about. He's now up for the national title of VFW Teacher of the Year. Fox 23 wants to say thank you for making the Toys for Tots campaign a huge success. The final numbers showed just how much help you delivered. The program delivered a total of 75,000 toys to Green Country families in need. A huge thank you to everyone who participated in all of our events and came out to support Toys for Tots this season. It's been the stuff of legend in an Atlanta neighborhood for years, but those days are over. Coming up, the indisputable proof the tales about Hogzilla were true. And a school bus driver has to improvise to defend her students from a man with a gun. You're watching Fox 23 News at 9.
You're watching Fox 23 News at 9. This season, college football's best are on Fox 23 News. We took you to Fort Worth for the Golden Hurricane battle against Utah in the Armed Forces Bowl. We followed the OSU Cowboys to a triumphant Independence Bowl win over Alabama. And you were there live as Boise State bested the Sooners in the Fiesta Bowl. Now, an unmatched bowl bash wraps up on Monday as Fox 23 brings you the BCS National Championship. Your station for local sports coverage, Fox 23 News.
Meet the Dollar Millionaires. From vintage pleather to McDonald's double cheeseburgers, these folks are all about the Washingtons. Looks like Rachel here has this season's It accessory. No wonder she rolls with such a handsome entourage.
These people live like money grows on trees. Trees they can't find.
But they have no trouble finding de-luxurious meals on the dollar menu. Now I'd buy that for $1.
You see them everywhere you look. Burgraff Disaster Restoration trucks are on the road 24 hours a day, helping families and businesses recover from fire, wind, and water damage. No job is too big, or too small, or too far away. And only Burgraff pays up to $1,000 of your deductible. Burgraff, Oklahoma's most recommended restoration company. Burgraff Disaster Restoration, the one to call for fire, wind, and water restoration.
What you are about to see is real and could save you over $10,000. Keystone Chevrolet just purchased 100 company cars from a GM auction at well below current market prices. Like this 2007 Chevy HHR. Now, just $14,900 or save over $10,000 on 07 Suburbans and Tahoes. Some vehicles have under 500 miles on them. Hurry, these 100 vehicles will sell fast. So get to Keystone Chevrolet in Sand Springs today.
Oklahoma Magazine presents the Oklahoma Wedding Show, Saturday, January 6, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the Doubletree Hotel, Warren Place. It's the ultimate wedding planning experience. Visit one-on-one with more than 65 national and local wedding experts, including the finest in planning, fashion, catering, florists, and more. Register to win the Dream Wedding Giveaway, worth more than $11,000. Plan your wedding in one day, in one place. The Oklahoma Wedding Show, Saturday, January 6th at the Doubletree Hotel, 61st and Yale.
Guarda che si batte in credo questo amore. Si inghiaccato tutti i panni cacciamento pescimo.
That was unexpected. Just like Taco Mayo's new double smothered burrito platters. Choose a burrito and we'll smother it once with our zesty new queso. Then smother it again with chili, ranchero sauce, or verde sauce. It's a double whammy of flavor that's totally unexpected.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Moody's Jewelry.
A Texas school bus driver used an unusual weapon to defend her kids from a gunman. Ann Lewis had 12 members of a girls' high school basketball team on board when the gunman ran up to the driver's window. Lewis hit him with the microphone from her two-way radio.
I just was trying to get the kids safe. That's all I was worried about, was the kids, getting them home safe, because I have kids of my own. I just hope that, other people do the same for mine.
Lewis called the school on her radio and dispatchers called police. The man followed the bus in his car all the way to the school, where police arrested him. An American lost at sea off South America is rescued by a commercial fishing boat. Ken Barnes of Newport Beach, California, was picked up off the coast of Chile. The 47-year-old set out on a trip around the world back in October. A storm broke the mast off his boat and left him adrift. He was picked up after the ship received his distress signal. He's reportedly in good condition. A pair of elderly shop owners made sure some robbers knew they weren't welcome in their store. John and Margaret Ragones have worked at the Four Seasons Family Supermarket in New Hampshire for 35 years. So when two masked guys came in with metal pipes, the couple took action. John, who's 78 years old, got mad when the robbers approached his wife.
When he approached my wife, that kind of got me mad. Because I told him, I said, don't you dare touch her. You swing that thing at her again, I'll bust your head. And that's when I came out with the bat. I got my bat and I came out swinging and I wham, right at him.
Police don't recommend doing what the couple did, but they can't argue with the results. Tulsa schools are feeling the effects of cold and flu season. Some schools report up to 12% of the students were out sick today. So what are schools doing to stop illnesses from spreading? Fox 23's Jenna Clark found out.
There's no doubt that in a classroom setting, the kids are close together. It's why teachers are teaching kids how to keep from spreading sicknesses.
The sleeping bag is going up and down.
In a kindergarten class, kids are in close quarters.
There's a lot of kids in here.
At Grissom Elementary,
and it was right under me.
It makes teacher Kathy Gilpin crazy to see this.
When they sneeze on each other, they cough on each other.
She's paranoid about germs.
I just think, oh, you know, the germs are everywhere.
And trust me, her kids know all about them.
They're little nasty bugs. You can't see them because they're teeny tiny. They make your hands dirty.
And these kindergartners know what germs can eventually do.
They can make you sick, and they can make you kind of fluffy.
And no one wants to feel like that.
It's not good to be sick. I don't like to be sick. Not fun.
It's why they're learning how to keep from spreading germs and keep from getting sick.
Wash your hands with soap and water so you'll get the germs out.
We have sanitizer, huge sanitizer.
You rub it on your hands.
These kids learn how to cough and how to sneeze.
You don't want to get on your hands because it can spread 1,000 miles.
Yeah, Mrs. Gilpin says since her kids know how to protect themselves, it's keeping them in school.
I'm a real stickler about the fact that I want them here every day.
Plus, her kindergartners are happier and healthier. Parents, here's how nurses say you can help. If your kids are sick, keep them home, especially if they have a fever or if they feel bad. In South Tulsa, Jana Clark, Fox 23 News. And here's some simple things you can do to stay healthy. First, get at least 8 hours of sleep at night. Next, avoid sugar. Doctors say it depresses your immune system, making it tough to fight off viral infections. And finally, add garlic to your diet. Research shows garlic fights bacteria. A creature named Hogzilla is no longer creating problems for one Atlanta neighborhood. The 1,100-pound wild boar has been tearing up their yards for years, but not everyone believed it existed. That changed when a neighbor who says he's an avid hunter shot the pig in another neighbor's yard. In recent years, animals close to this size have been killed in Georgia, but the wildlife agents are trying to determine if this one breaks a state record.
With 5 live radars keeping you safe, this is Fox 23 weather.
I was out a little bit earlier this evening, and it seemed like it was rainy a little bit. I had
a little
to
bit
use
of drizzle, some light rain out there. A cold front, believe it or not, is heading towards the area.
Great.
Not really that cold, though, for this time of year, that's for sure. Let's check it out. Good evening. It's Friday evening, heading into a nice weekend. I think all in all, the weather's going to be pretty nice. A typical January weekend for a change. Some cooler air coming in behind this front, but not really that cold. As the front is coming in tonight, it's squeezing out a little bit of drizzle and some light rain and sprinkle activity. You can see that on our live precision Doppler radar in motion. Just a few areas of very light precipitation dropping down to the southeast at about 20 miles per hour. Will not amount to a whole lot. We will see cooler weather move in for the weekend, but nothing really that cold for this time of year. That happens about a week or so from now. All right, let's see what's happening officially in Tulsa. It's cloudy, a few sprinkles around, a little drizzle. It's 49 degrees. That front has passed through the metro area. Winds are picking up out of the northwest, a little gusty at 13 miles per hour. Humidity 80%, and the pressure is holding steady. There's the front right now pushing into eastern and southeastern Oklahoma. Still primarily lower 50s ahead of the front. Temperatures dropping into the 40s. Those gusty northwesterly winds behind the front. As cold as 43 in Ponca City. Only 41 degrees in Enid, Oklahoma. But again, nothing really that cold for this time of year. As we check out temperatures across the area, you can see the colder readings to our west. And when you first glance at this, you might say, wow, it's really cold behind this front. Well, it is cold behind the front, but it's mainly because of all the snow on the ground. Denver is 15 degrees with all that snow cover. Really, the air isn't that cold, so just modest cooling coming in over the weekend. The real cold stuff still locked up to our north. Northwestern Canada up into Alaska, temperatures extremely bitterly cold. We've seen readings as cold as 40 degrees below zero up there. Eventually, at least a couple chunks of this cold Arctic air will drop down in the southeast. At the same time, several storm systems could also start impacting our weather, beginning not this weekend, but next weekend through the next week. A pretty good chance of precipitation and much colder weather coming in as winter makes a comeback. We've been talking about that for several days, and we'll keep you updated as needed on that. In the meantime, weather's pretty nice. Just several cold fronts whipping across the area over the next several days, but nothing really significant, just cooling us back to what we should be this time of year with no precipitation really in the forecast here in northeastern Oklahoma after a few sprinkles this evening. So by morning, partly cloudy skies, winds out of the north at about 10 to 25 will make it feel pretty cold, but actual temperatures 30s and low 40s, wind chills probably down the 20s, so we can handle that. Typical weather for this time of year. And by tomorrow afternoon, we're expecting mostly cloudy to partly sunny skies, winds decreasing out of the north, and temperatures up around 50 degrees. So even behind the front, we're running a couple degrees above average for this time of year. All right, here's a look at the forecast. Throughout the evening hours, a slight chance of some light rain or sprinkles. Temperatures cooling down. By morning, just mostly cloudy, down about 39. Lunchtime tomorrow, partly sunny, about 46, and at 4 o'clock, around 50 degrees for an afternoon high temperature with some sunshine and some clouds, but nothing, again, really that bad. Really a typically nice weekend. Nice January weekend. Sunday, more sunshine, less wind during the morning, but then the winds will start picking up again Sunday afternoon out of the northwest as another weak front moves in. Lows, upper 20s and low 30s Sunday morning. We'll hit about 49 on Sunday afternoon. And then Monday, yet another weak front moves in by Monday evening. So 3 weak fronts in 3 days, not doing a whole lot to the weather. Highs around 50, lows 20s and 30s. This front coming in Monday night will cool it off just a little bit on Tuesday, back into the upper 40s with mostly sunny skies. And then we start a nice warming trend Wednesday and Thursday, back into the 50s, if not 60 degrees. And then that big weather change occurs about 8 to 10 days from now. Not this weekend, but next weekend. Rain and thunderstorms moving in, and that could all change over to wintry precipitation as the cold Arctic air moves in. So I think by this time next week, we'll have a lot to talk about. In the meantime, this week, well, it's really nice for this time.
Really nice. It's supposed to be colder anyway. It's January. So.
That's right. We usually get it in waves. And, you know, we had that first winter wave late November, early December. Since that time, the weather's been pretty nice as far as temperatures. And now the second part of winter is ready to come in. I think about a week from tonight, it'll start moving in.
Right. So I need to get my Christmas lights down this weekend.
You haven't done that yet?
I haven't done it yet.
I'm just kidding.
I'm taking my time.
I got to do that, too.
Absolutely. Thank you, John.
Okay.
And thank you for joining us for Fox 23 News at 9. Stay tuned for the Sports Buzz. Have a great weekend.
Covering all the gridiron action across Green Country. This is the Jim Glover Chevrolet Fox 23 Sports Buzz.
Another local high school football program is looking for a new head coach. Today, Brent Whitson resigning as the head coach at Broken Arrow. In 3 seasons with the Tigers, Whitson went 22-14 and led his team to the playoffs each year. In a statement released by Broken Arrow Public Schools, Whitson calls his time at BA extremely rewarding. Whitson's replacement has not been announced. Assistant coaches will oversee the Tigers' off-season workouts. To the hoops, 66ers hosting Sioux Falls, 4th quarter. Tulsa down 1. Shane Gadsden gets his man to bite on the fake, drains a jumper, gives the Sixers a 1-point lead, but the Skyforce goes on a big run, and the Sixers fall in this one at 123-112. That one just going final. The longest tenured coach in the NFL calls it quits today. Bill Cowher resigns as head coach of the Steelers after 15 seasons. Cowher walks away with the highest winning percentage of any Steeler coach. He led Pittsburgh to 10 playoff appearances, 8 divisional titles, and last year's Super Bowl championship. Today, Cowher expressing his gratitude to the Steeler Nation.
I want to thank you for your passion and your support. I've said this before, and I'm a part of you. You can take the people out of Pittsburgh, but you'll never take the Pittsburgh out of people. I'm one of you.
Ohio State enters Monday's national championship game as the favorite over Florida, and the Buckeyes are on a 4-game bowl winning streak. But history, no comfort to Jim Tressel.
It was a year ago we lost a big one to Texas and lost a big one to Penn State, and you know, we've had our good fortune at times, but you have to do it that night, and we'll see how good coaches and players we are in this big game.
And of course, the Buckeyes and Gators meet Monday night to decide the BCS National Championship. Coverage starts at 7 right here on Fox 23. We'll be back with more on the Sports Buzz right after this.
You've told us that nothing is more important to you than breaking news and weather coverage.
And nobody covers breaking news and breaking weather like Fox 23 News. It starts every morning on Fox 23 News Daybreak.
Bringing you local weather first and all the news that happened while you were asleep.
And we're tracking severe weather long before it reaches Oklahoma.
Giving you the earliest warning and time to protect your family when severe weather strikes.
Keeping you and your family informed and safe. That is our promise to you all day, every day. On Fox 23 News.
You know,
with most wireless companies, you get charged for incoming calls. So say this door is your cell phone and all these people are incoming calls. Watch. Charge. 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 Now watch what happens with U.S. Cellular. No charge, no charge, no charge, no
With unlimited call me minutes, there's no charge for incoming calls. U.S. Cellular, we connect with you. Right now, get the Moto Sliver for just $79.95.
Morning. Wow, someone knows what they're getting this year.
Someone certainly does.
Someone's pretty happy about it, too.
Someone certainly is.
Someone certainly is.
It's that time of year again when you'll find exceptional values on your favorite Lexus vehicles.
Someone's gonna go straighten up the garage.
Someone already did.
See Lexus of Tulsa.
As the state's betting leader, Mathis Brothers gets first shot at all closeouts and specials.
Here's a Serta price for only $384 for the queen size set complete.
This bed measures up to even our high standards.
Look at this great buy from Lady Americana for $648 in queen complete.
You'll love the 4-inch foam topper plus the individually pocketed coils.
See these two specials plus the complete line of Tempur-Pedic at your betting leader, Mathis Brothers.
Mathis Brothers Furniture.
Meet the Dollar Menionaires. From vintage pleather to McDonald's double cheeseburgers, these folks are all about the Washingtons. Looks like Rachel here has this season's It accessory. No wonder she rolls with such a handsome man entourage.
These people live like money grows on trees. Trees they can't find.
But they have no trouble finding de-luxurious meals on the dollar menu. Now I buy that for $1.
Why do you shop at iMart Express?
I came in for the low prices.
Definitely the prices.
I've shopped the sales at other stores, and they don't compare.
They got plenty to choose from, and the prices are good, too.
And the free warranty. He's so hard on his glasses.
I didn't expect this kind of service.
And they always clean and adjust my glasses for free, too.
2 complete pairs, designer frames, only $98.61. 6 metro locations. See our ad in Sunday's paper.
I'll keep coming back.
This portion of the news is brought to you by the Tulsa Welding School.
Boise State for the win. They hand it off to Johnson. Boise State has won the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl. Can you believe it?
Well, I think a lot of people, myself included, still trying to recover from Monday night. A Fiesta Bowl many thought would be a mismatch, turning out to be one of the all-time great college football games. OU and Boise State, an instant classic in the desert. Now, the Sooners rallying from down 18 in the second half and even taking the lead on that Marcus Walker interception return for a touchdown. But Boise State countered with a string of improbable, just sandlot-type plays, converting a hook and ladder for a 50-yard touchdown on 4th and 18 to send the game to overtime. And then after the teams traded touchdowns, Chris Peterson rolled the dice once again, pulling out the Statue of Liberty play to win a crazy, crazy Fiesta Bowl.
It never in my wildest dream that I think they'd get a 4th and 18. And just sucked everybody up, over-pursued, went down and scored, and on another 4th and 2. Just couldn't bat it down. And whatever that play they ran at the last one is a great play.
I don't know, it was just crazy, the play that, they ended it with. It was a crazy play. I don't know. I don't know, man. My head is spinning right now.
It's unbelievable, man. There's no words for this. That was an incredible game by Oklahoma and ourselves. That's one we want. I'm going to remember the rest of my life and tell my kids.
All right, well, joining me now, Chris Plank, Jeremy Poplin, Don King, the boys from Sports Radio 1430 The Buzz. Guys, obviously an incredible game to witness, and there's always a little bit of second guessing after a game like this. What could the teams have done differently? Chris, can you blame the Sooner defense, or do you just give it up to Boise State and say, hey, they executed?
Hey, they didn't have to use the trick plays until late. That's why they won the game, because Oklahoma made mistakes early. Now, granted, Boise made some mistakes to keep the Sooners in this game. The botched punt, the fumble near the sideline by Ian Johnson. But overall, I hate to do this because I know people always like to place blame in a loss, but Pop, it was just an incredible game.
Yeah.
It was just an incredible football game.
Incredible game, and you look at the way that the Big 12 performed overall in the bowls, guys.
I was trying to think of a Big 12 team in that environment that had the same type of situations happen to Oklahoma. I think it was just one of those nights where all the stars were aligned. I think Boise State probably would have beat any Big 12 team there that night, even though I thought Oklahoma did a good job of trying to come back in that football game. And let's just give credit to Boise State. Hey, they made the plays when it counted down the stretch, and they're Fiesta Bowl champions.
It's one that goes down certainly as one of the great bowl games of all time, especially in OU history. Unfortunately for the Sooners, they came up on the short end. But I think it was the mistakes at the first of the game and the Malcolm Kelly injury that really hurt OU. We really don't get that much information about Kelly during the game, and to me, that was one of the big losses for them.
Was this, guys, maybe the worst game that we've seen Paul Thompson play all year? Was that maybe just too much for those guys to overcome those 4 turnovers?
Maybe. In the first half it was, but I'm sorry, man, I could have watched that highlight of that Statue of Liberty 15 times. It's still an incredible play. You know, it's just still a phenomenal call and incredible execution.
I think maybe the worst decisions we've seen him make, not overall football game. And when it comes down to it, guys, I mean, they had 4 turnovers. Boise State still had 3 turnovers. Yeah. I mean, the turnover difference was only 1, but I think worst decisions by Paul Thompson we've seen.
But the outcome of the game was not because of the trick plays. It was because OU gave up a touchdown in the last minute of the game when Boise went 80 yards.
Well, 4th and 18.
Yeah.
Like Zach Latimer said, never in his wildest dreams did he expect that. I don't think anybody in the stadium that night expected it either. Well, OU finally found an obstacle it couldn't overcome, but that doesn't mean they didn't try. We'll have more on the Sooners' stirring Fiesta Bowl comeback as the Sports Buzz continues.
It's a brand new year, and it's time to be driving a brand new Chevy from Jim Glover Chevrolet. For a limited time, hurry and take advantage of never-before prices. Like America's favorite, a new 07 Tahoe with a 25 mile per gallon EPA average. Own it for an incredible $25,799. $25,799 for a new Tahoe. Or the king of economy, an 07 Chevy Aveo with a 43 mile per gallon EPA average. Just $79.95. That's right, $79.95. Both with Chevy's 100,000-mile warranty. Get them now at Jim Glover Chevrolet.
Style Rewards half-price gift certificates are still available. Log on to fox23.com now for more information or to get your half-price gift certificate.
You see them everywhere you look. Burgraff Disaster Restoration trucks are on the road 24 hours a day, helping families and businesses recover from fire, wind, and water damage. No job is too big, or too small, or too far away. And only Burgraff pays up to $1,000 of your deductible. Burgraff, Oklahoma's most recommended restoration company. Burgraff Disaster Restoration, the one to call for fire, wind, and water restoration.
Oklahoma Magazine presents the Oklahoma Wedding Show, Saturday, January 6, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the Doubletree Hotel, Warren Place. It's the ultimate wedding planning experience. Visit one-on-one with more than 65 national and local wedding experts, including the finest in planning, fashion, catering, florists, and more. Register to win the Dream Wedding Giveaway, worth more than $11,000. Plan your wedding in one day, in one place. The Oklahoma Wedding
Statue of Liberty play to win a crazy, crazy Fiesta Bowl.
Never in my wildest dreams did I think they'd get a 4th and 18, and just sucked everybody up, over pursued, went down and scored, and on another 4th and 2, just couldn't bat it down. And whatever that play they ran at the last one is a great play.
I don't know, it was just crazy, the play that, they ended it with. It was a crazy play. I don't know. I don't know, man. My head is spinning right now.
It's unbelievable, man. There's no words for this. That was incredible game by Oklahoma and ourselves. That's one we want. I'm going to remember the rest of my life and tell my kids.
All right, well, joining me now, Chris Plank, Jeremy Poplin, Don King, the boys from Sports Radio 1430 The Buzz. Guys, obviously an incredible game to witness, and there's always a little bit of second guessing after a game like this. What could the teams have done differently? Chris, can you blame the Sooner defense, or do you just give it up to Boise State and say, hey, they executed?
Hey, they didn't have to use the trick plays until late. That's why they won the game, because Oklahoma made mistakes early. Now, granted, Boise made some mistakes to keep the Sooners in this game. The botched punt, the fumble near the sideline by Ian Johnson. But overall, I hate to do this because I know people always like to place blame in a loss, but Pop, it was just an incredible game.
Yeah.
It was just an incredible football game.
Incredible game, and you look at the way that the Big 12 performed overall in the bowls, guys. I was trying to think of a Big 12 team in that environment that had the same type of situations happen to Oklahoma. I think it was just one of those nights where all the stars were aligned. I think Boise State probably would have beat any Big 12 team there that night, even though even though I thought Oklahoma did a good job of trying to come back in that football game. And let's just give credit to Boise State. Hey, they made the plays when it counted down the stretch, and they're Fiesta Bowl champions.
It's one that goes down certainly as one of the great bowl games of all time, especially in OU history. Unfortunately for the Sooners, they came up on the short end, but I think it was the mistakes at the first of the game and the Malcolm Kelly injury that really hurt OU. We really don't get that much information about Kelly during the game, and to me, that was one of the big losses for them.
Was this, guys, maybe the worst game that we've seen Paul Thompson play all year? Was that maybe just too much for those guys to overcome those 4 turnovers?
Maybe. In the first half it was, but I'm sorry, man, I could watch that highlight of that Statue of Liberty 15 times. It's still an incredible play. You know, it's just still a phenomenal call and incredible execution.
I think maybe the worst decisions we've seen him make, not overall football game. And when it comes down to it, guys, I mean, they had 4 turnovers. Boise State still had 3 turnovers. I mean, the turnover difference was only 1, but I think worst decisions by Paul Thompson we've seen.
But the outcome of the game was not because of the trick plays. It was because OU gave up a touchdown in the last minute of the game when Boise went 80 yards.
Well, 4th and 18.
Yeah.
Like Zach Latimer said, never in his wildest dreams did he expect that. I don't think anybody in the stadium that night expected it either. Well, OU finally found an obstacle it couldn't overcome, but that doesn't mean they didn't try. We'll have more on the Sooners' stirring Fiesta Bowl comeback as the Sports Buzz continues.